The Surreal shop is suffocating, narrow aisles choked with synthetic bundles that smell like burnt plastic and broken promises. Chimoni stands at her cracked mirror, watching through the window as Auntie Blessing's Range Rover passed past, another client living with perfect bone-straight hair that Chimoni knows she could install better, faster, cheaper. But better, faster, cheaper doesn't sell when your inventory looks like it came from a container fire. Her phone buzzes, rent reminder. 8,000 naira left in her account. 8,000. Not enough for next week's shop fee, definitely not enough for the Brazilian bundles gathering dust on her competitors' shelves. She's talented, her fingers can braid like they are telling stories, can lay a frontal so flat it looks grown from the scalp. But talent is just another word for not enough in Lagos, where image is currency and her stock screams poverty. When the knock comes at closing time, Chimoni is counting those last crumpled notes for the third time, as if repetition might multiply them. The man in the doorway carries a gonna-must-go bag that sags with weight. The smell hits her before his greeting, something chemical and sweet, like expensive perfume trying to hide beneath hospital floors. Emeka doesn't introduce himself as Nightman yet. That comes later. For now, he simply set the bag on her counter, and when she touches the first bundle, cool, impossibly silky, with a sheen that catches the dying fluorescent light, Chimoni feels the temperature drop in her shop. She doesn't ask where it came from. That's the first compromise. The second is when she names her price. The hair sells in 3 days. Chimoni doesn't advertise. Doesn't post. Doesn't even open the bundles fully, just lets one silky strand catch the light when Mrs. Adeyemi walks past the shop window. The woman stops mid-step like she's been hooked by invisible wire. How much? Chimoni names a price that would have been impossible yesterday. Mrs. Adeyemi doesn't even negotiate. By week's end, the gonna-must-go bag is empty and Chimoni's register is full. She pays her landlord in cash, watching his surprise turn to respect. The same man who threatened eviction last Monday now asks if she needs anything, better lighting, perhaps a fresh coat of paint. She declines. The shop stays dim. Some things sell better in shadows. Emeka returns on Friday, another bag in hand. This time he stays longer, leaning against her counter with the ease of someone who knows he's indispensable. You didn't ask, he says. Ask what? Where it comes from. Chimoni's hands are steady as she counts his payment. Does it matter? His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Not yet. He leaves before she can ask what that means. The second bag sits in her back room, and when she touches it after midnight, alone, with the security gate pulled down, the bundles feel different. Heavier. Like they remember something. She ignores the thought. Her phone screen glows with new messages, clients she couldn't afford to dream about last month, now begging for appointments. Kemi Soft Life Adebayo, the influencer whose Instagram makes grown women weep with envy, wants to visit personally. Chimoni types back immediately, tomorrow. 2 p.m. She doesn't sleep that night. Not because of guilt. Because winners don't sleep, they count. Kemi arrives in a white Mercedes with an entourage that barely fits through the shop door. Her assistant, her photographer, her vibe curator, all cramming into the narrow space that suddenly feels smaller, hotter, more exposed. But Kemi herself goes quiet when Chimoni opens the newest bundle. Jesus, she whispers, fingers hovering above the hair like it might burn her. What is this? Platinum, Chimoni says smoothly. From Brazil. Limited stock. It's not from Brazil. The tag inside the bag said something else, something in Yoruba that Chimoni couldn't fully read in the dim light and chose not to translate. The hair is silver white, finer than anything she's ever touched, with an almost liquid quality that seems to move even when still. Kemi's photographer is already shooting. Girl, this is your rebrand. This is your main character moment. Chimoni begins the installation. Her fingers work automatically, braiding the platinum strands into Kemi's natural hair with the muscle memory of 10,000 previous clients. But these strands feel different under her fingertips, cold, responsive, almost eager. Kemi scrolls her phone while Chimoni works, calling out comments to her assistant. Post the behind the scenes. Tag her. No, use the one where you can see her hands. People love the craftsmanship angle. The temperature in the shop keeps dropping. Chimoni's assistant, a quiet girl named Blessing, brings a space heater, but it doesn't help. You cold? Kemi asks, rubbing her arms. AC's broken, Chimoni lies. By the time the install is finished, Kemi looks like something from a magazine. The platinum hair cascades down her back in perfect waves, catching every angle of light with an otherworldly sheen. She takes 50 photos before she even stands up. How much? Chimoni names a price that makes Kemi's assistant choke. Kemi doesn't blink. Done. The post goes live at 9 p.m. Kemi in the platinum wig, golden hour lighting, caption reading, found my crown sparkles at Sunday luxury thrift hair. By midnight, Chimoni's Instagram has 10,000 new followers. By morning, her phone won't stop ringing. She books appointments for the next 3 weeks, raises her prices twice, and has to turn away clients she would have killed for last month. The shop that felt like a tomb now pulses with bodies, voices, the electric charge of money changing hands. Emeka watches from across the street, smoking a cigarette that never seems to get shorter. He doesn't come inside anymore. Doesn't need to. His bags arrive like clockwork, every Friday, a new gunner must go, each one heavier than the last. Chimoni doesn't ask questions. She just counts money and books appointments and ignores the way her hands smell like formaldehyde no matter how many times she washes them. Blessing notices, though. Auntie, she says one evening, after the last client leaves. That smell, where is the hair really coming from? Chimoni looks at her assistant, this girl who takes the bus 2 hours each way, who irons her uniform until it shines, who probably makes more from tips in this shop than her parents make in a month. This girl who could ask questions that would burn everything down. Blessing, Chimoni says carefully, how much am I paying you now? 50,000 a month. Would you like to make it 70? Blessing's face changes. The question dies behind her teeth. That's what I thought, Chimoni says, not unkindly. Sometimes the smart thing is to just be grateful. Maybe if you're listening to this now, you understand that feeling, that moment when you know something's wrong but the alternative is worse. Maybe you've stood at that same crossroads, counting the cost of truth against the weight of survival. If this story is reaching you somehow, if you feel that knot in your stomach, then you already know, some choices don't have good options. Only expensive ones. The sixth bag contains something different. Chimoni finds it at the bottom, wrapped in what looks like wedding cloth, white lace stained with rust-colored patterns that she tells herself are just dye. The bundle inside is pure white, finer than Kemi's platinum, with a texture that makes her skin crawl. There's a note, handwritten in shaky Yoruba, Iyawo-Oku. Do not sell. Do not touch. Return to sender. She burns the note in her shop sink. The hair is too beautiful to return. Too valuable. She imagines it on her own head, Chimoni, the girl from Suralia, wearing a crown that cost more than her mother's house. She imagines walking into Auntie Blessing's shop, seeing the envy crack through that smug face. She keeps it in her personal cabinet, separate from the client's inventory. 2 days later, a woman comes to the shop, elderly, refined, wearing gold that looks inherited rather than bought. I need something special, she says. For my granddaughter's wedding. Price is no object. Chimoni thinks about the Iyawo-Oku bundle. Thinks about the warning. Thinks about the number this woman just said, price is no object. I have something perfect, she hears herself say. The installation takes 4 hours. The elderly woman falls asleep in the chair, and Chimoni walks in silence, braiding the white strands into an elaborate bridal updo. The hair moves under her fingers like it's alive, weaving itself into patterns she didn't plan. When the woman wakes and sees herself in the mirror, she goes pale. It's beautiful, she whispers. But why do I feel? Feel what? Cold. So cold. Chimoni laughs it off, blames the AC again, accepts payment that could cover 3 months of rent. The woman leaves. Chimoni doesn't sleep that night. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees the wedding cloth, the rust-colored stains, the handwriting that shook with either age or fear. Mama Ijeoma appears in the doorway on a Tuesday morning, uninvited. She's the kind of old woman Lagos respects without question, the type who wears white every day, who prays loud enough for the whole street to hear, who knows everyone's business because she's lived through 3 generations of it. Children call her Mama, adults call her Ma, and nobody calls her a liar. She doesn't greet Chimoni. Just walks straight to the counter and sniffs the air like something died there. You smell it? Mama Ijeoma says. Smell what, Ma? Corpse oil. Formaldehyde. The perfume of the grave. Her eyes, cloudy with cataracts but somehow still sharp, fix on Chimoni. You're playing with things that don't belong to the living. Chimoni forces a smile. Ma, it's just imported hair. From Brazil. Don't insult me with lies, child. Mama Ijeoma's voice drops. I know what death smells like. I've washed enough bodies for burial. That hair on your shelf. Those bundles in your back room. They came from people who can't give permission anymore. Blessing drops the broom she's holding. The clatter echoes in the sudden silence. Ma, I think you're confused. The bride, Mama Ijeoma interrupts. Mrs. Okonkwo's granddaughter. The one you gave the white hair. She's been screaming in her sleep. Says something's in her head, digging. The wedding is in 3 days and the girl won't let anyone touch her hair. Won't let anyone near her. Chimoni's mouth goes dry. You need to stop, Mama Ijeoma says. Before the debt comes due. Before they come to collect what you've stolen. I haven't stolen anything. Stolen their beauty. Their crowning glory. You think the dead don't notice. You think they don't mind. The old woman leans close, and her breath smells like bitter herbs. They are waiting, Kayamika. Waiting to see if you stop on your own. But if you don't. She doesn't finish. Just turns and leaves, her white wrapper dragging dust across the shop floor. Blessing won't look at Chimoni for the rest of the day. That night, Chimoni calls Emeka. The old woman came, she says when he answers. She knows. Silence on the line. Then, Mama Ijeoma knows a lot of things. But she doesn't know how much you're making. She doesn't know how good it feels to finally win. What if she's right? What if? What if you go back to counting 8,000 naira? What if Auntie Blessing drives past your shop in her Range Rover while you're begging customers to buy synthetic bundles? Chimoni closes her eyes. The hair is just hair, Emeka says softly. The rest is superstition. Old women trying to keep young women small. She wants to believe him. Needs to believe him. Same time Friday, she asks. His laugh is quiet. Same time Friday. The bride never makes it to the wedding. Chimoni hears about it from a client, then from another, then from the WhatsApp groups that spread Lagos gossip faster than traffic spreads on 3rd Mainland Bridge. The story mutates with each telling, but the core stays the same. The girl went mad. Started screaming that her hair was eating her. That she could feel it crawling into her skull, wrapping around her brain, pulling her down into the earth. Her family called pastors, Babelowos, even a psychiatrist. Nothing helped. They found her in the bathroom at 3 a.m., tearing at her scalp with her own fingernails, trying to rip the wig out. But it wouldn't come. The hair had somehow grafted to her own, grown into it, become inseparable. When they finally sedated her and took her to the hospital, the doctor said something impossible, the white hair was growing. Not from her scalp, into it. The roots were burrowing backward, threading through her skin like worms. Chimoni hears all this while installing another client's weave. Her hands don't shake. She keeps breathing, keeps smiling, keeps the conversation light. When the client leaves, satisfied, beautiful, paid in full, Chimoni locks the shop door and vomits in the backroom sink. Blessing finds her there. Auntie, she says quietly. We need to stop. Stop what? You know what? Chimoni wipes her mouth, turns on the tap. The girl was already sick. Probably schizophrenia or something. Nothing to do with the hair. The hair you gave her. The hair from the bag. The hair that Mama Ijoma warned you about. Blessing, if you don't want to work here. I need this job. Blessing's voice cracks. My mother is sick. My brothers need school fees. I need this job, auntie. But I'm scared. They stand there in the back room, among the bundles and the chemical smell and the money they've both grown addicted to. And somewhere in Lagos, a girl who wanted to be beautiful on her wedding day is strapped to a hospital bed, screaming that her crown is killing her. 1 more month, Chimoni says finally. We save enough for 1 more month, then we find a different supplier. Clean hair. Legal hair. It's the first time she's admitted out loud that what they're doing isn't clean or legal. Blessing nods, wanting to believe the same lie. Neither of them mentions that Emeka is coming Friday with a new bag. Neither of them says they'll refuse it. The invitation arrives printed on cream cardstock, delivered by a woman in a suit, the Elite Women's Empowerment Gala. Victoria Island. Black tie. Your presence is requested. Kemi's signature is scrawled at the bottom, along with a note, bring your magic, Queen. Everyone who's anyone will be there. This is your night to shine. Chimoni reads it 3 times, her heart hammering against her ribs. This is it. The room where Lagos's real money lives, the oil wives, the bank executives, the women who decide what's fashionable by simply wearing it. If she walks into that gala with her work on display, if those women see what she can do, she'll never have to worry about rent again. Never have to count kobo. Never have to feel small. She calls Emeka immediately. I need your best, she says. Whatever you've got that's special. I'm talking about the kind of hair that makes people forget to breathe. When? The gala is in 3 days. Long silence. Then, I bring something. But it's expensive. Not in money, in other ways. What other ways? You'll see. He hangs up before she can ask more questions. The bag arrives Thursday night, after the shop is closed. Emeka doesn't stay. Just sets it on the counter, looks at Chimoni with something like pity, and leaves. Inside, 7 bundles, each wrapped in fabric that might have been beautiful once, before the stains. The hair is extraordinary, deep black, impossibly glossy, with natural wave patterns that seem to flow even in the still air. There are names written on each fabric wrapper. Names of women. Chimoni recognizes one, the bride. The girl in the hospital. She tells herself it's coincidence. She tells herself she's overthinking. She tells herself a lot of things while she stays up until dawn, creating 7 masterpiece wigs for the gala. Maybe you've been where she is now, so close to everything you've wanted that you can taste it, so desperate not to lose it that you swallow poison and call it medicine. If you understand that hunger, that fear of falling back into nothing, then you know why she doesn't stop. Why she can't stop. Why sometimes knowing better isn't enough. The wigs are ready by Friday morning. They're the most beautiful things she's ever made. She tries not to think about whose heads they came from. The ballroom glitters like something from a movie, crystal chandeliers, gold-rimmed plates, women draped in lace and diamonds and confidence. Chimoni stands near the entrance, watching her work circulate through the crowd. 7 clients wearing her custom wigs, each one turning heads, commanding attention, glowing under the warm light. Kemi holds court at the center table, her platinum hair, new install, fresh bundle, styled in elegant waves. She keeps touching it, running her fingers through the strands like she's discovered silk for the first time. You're brilliant, Kemi told Chimoni earlier, kissing both her cheeks. Everyone's obsessed. I've given out your number at least 20 times tonight. Chimoni should feel triumphant. This is the moment she's been building toward, the validation, the proof that she belongs in these rooms. But she can't shake the code. It's 11 p.m. when the music changes. Or maybe the music doesn't change, but something shifts in the air, a frequency only dogs and desperate women can hear. Kemi stops mid-laugh, her hand frozen in her hair. Kemi. Her friend touches her arm. You okay? Kemi doesn't answer. She's staring at something no one else can see, her eyes gone wide and glassy. Then her nose starts bleeding. Not a trickle. A flow. Someone screams. The music stutters. Kemi's platinum hair begins to move, really move, riding like something alive has been sleeping in it and just woke up. Across the ballroom, another woman drops her champagne glass. Another nose bleeding. Then another. Then another. All 7 of Chimoni's clients, bleeding from their noses, their ears, their eyes, as their beautiful wigs start to tighten. Kemi claws at her scalp, her perfectly manicured nails tearing through the platinum strands, but they won't release. The hair wraps tighter, like fingers strangling, like roots burrowing home. Get it off, Kemi is screaming. Get it off. But it won't come off. It's melting into her, becoming her, claiming what was stolen. The lights flicker. The temperature plummets. And Chimoni sees her, feels her, really, before the visual registers. Iyawo-Oku. The ghost bride. Standing in the center of the ballroom where no one was standing a second before, a woman in a wedding dress the color of old bones, her neck ending in ragged meat where her head should be. She's holding something in her hands, her own severed head, the platinum hair Chimoni sold to the first bride cascading from the scalp like a waterfall. The head's mouth opens. The dead start speaking through it, every voice Chimoni has stolen from, every woman whose beauty she harvested, every corpse Emeka disturbed in the dark. They speak in chorus, in harmony, in accusation. Give us back our crowns. The hair on every woman in the room, not just Chimoni's clients, but all of them, begins to move. Begins to crawl. Begins to remember whose heads it came from and demand to go home. Chimoni runs. She drives to Emeka's mortuary in a blind panic, her car weaving through midnight Lagos like something chased. Behind her, the gala has become a massacre, women tearing at their scalps, security guards screaming into phones, ambulances wailing in the distance. She needs answers. Needs Emeka to fix this. Needs him to make it stop. The mortuary is on the mainland, tucked behind a row of churches that seem ironic now. The building is dark except for one light in the back, the preparation room where bodies are washed, embalmed, made ready for burial. Chimoni doesn't knock. Just pushes through the unlocked door, calling his name. She finds him in the back room. He's bent over a body on the preparation table, scissors in hand, carefully cutting hair from a scalp that will never feel the violation. The woman on the table is old, 70, maybe 80, with beautiful silver hair that catches the fluorescent light. Emeka, Chimoni whispers. He doesn't turn around. Doesn't stop cutting. I tried to warn you, he says quietly. The note. The wedding cloth. Did you think those were decorations? You have to stop this. You have to. I can't stop it. He finally turns, and his face is grey, hollow, ancient in the harsh light. Do you think I'm the only one doing this? Do you think Lagos is the only city where the desperate make deals with the dead? Then who? Look closer, Chimoni. She looks at the body on the table. Really looks. The woman has Emeka's eyes. His nose. His mouth. Your mother. Chimoni's voice breaks. She died 6 months ago, Emeka says, still cutting with surgical precision. Cancer. We couldn't afford the treatment. Couldn't afford the burial. But her hair was still beautiful. He sets down the scissors, holds up a bundle of silver strands. This is the last bag I feel, he continues. After tonight, the debt is settled. My mother's funeral is paid for. My sister's school fees are covered. And you made it possible, Chimoni. You and all the women like you who wanted beauty so badly you didn't care where it came from. The room tilts. Chimoni grabs the edge of a cabinet to stay standing. Mama Ijeoma, she whispers. She said we were playing with things that don't belong to the living. She said they'd come to collect. They already are. Emeka packages the silver hair with the same care he's shown every bag. The question is, what are you willing to pay? Behind Chimoni, the mortuary door slams open. Blessing stands there, breathing hard, her clothes torn. Auntie, We have to go. They are coming. All of them. The dead are walking, and they are looking for you. Through the windows, Chimoni sees them, shadows moving through the Lagos night, women in various states of decay, all missing their hair, all moving with terrible purpose toward the one place their stolen beauty led them. The mortuary. And standing at the front of that grotesque procession, headless and terrible and crowned in platinum. Iyawo-Oku, come to collect her debt. They come through every entrance, through doors, through windows, through walls that shouldn't allow passage but do because the dead don't obey architecture. Chimoni backs into the preparation room, Blessing and Emeka on either side, as the mortuary fills with corpses wearing their graves like Sunday clothes. Iyawo-Oku enters last, her severed head held high, her platinum hair a waterfall of accusation. The head's mouth moves. You wore our beauty. You sold our crowns. You built your empire on the bodies of women who can't fight back. I didn't kill anyone, Chimoni tries. I just used what was already stolen, the dead chorus. Already ours. Already sacred. Iyawo-Oku glides forward, not walking, just moving like smoke across water. She stops in front of Chimoni, close enough that the scent of formaldehyde and wedding flowers fills everything. You have two choices, merchant of crowns. Pay the debt with your life, join us in the ground, let the earth reclaim what you took. Or pay the debt with your beauty. Give up what you used our gifts to build. Surrender your crown. Chimoni's hand instinctively goes to her own hair, the expensive install she gave herself 2 weeks ago, the 26-inch Vietnamese bundle that cost more than her mother's monthly rent, the hair that makes her feel like she's worth something. My hair. Your beauty. Your vanity. Your pride. The ghost bride's head tilts, an impossible angle. Go bald before us. Let Lagos see you as you fear to be seen, stripped, plain, ordinary. Let them laugh at the wig queen who wears shame instead of silk. Do this, and we release the others. Refuse, and everyone who touched our stolen crowns dies screaming. Chimoni thinks of Kemi in the ballroom, blood running from her eyes. Thinks of the bride in the hospital, tearing at her own scalp. Thinks of every client she's installed in the last 3 months, now marked by her greed. If I do this, she whispers, you let them live. We take only what was ours. The living may keep their lives. But you will remember every day what your hunger cost. Emeka hands her scissors without a word. Chimoni closes her eyes. Opens them. Meets the eyeless gaze of Iyawo-Oku's severed head. And cuts. The first strand falls like a confession. Then another. Then another. She doesn't look in the mirror, doesn't want to see herself transformed from queen to cautionary tale. She just cuts until Blessing takes the scissors and finishes the job with shaking hands, clippers buzzing in the death-quiet mortuary. When it's done, Chimoni is bald. Completely, vulnerably, viciously bald. Iyawo-Oku touches her head with fingers made of wedding cloth and moonlight. Now you understand, she whispers. Beauty is not power. It's borrowed light. And the dead always collect their debts. The ghosts vanish like smoke in wind. The mortuary is empty except for 3 living souls and 1 body on a table that will finally rest in peace. Chimoni walks out into the Lagos dawn, bald and broke and alive. If you stayed with this story to the end, if you felt every turn, every choice, every moment where hunger became horror, then you know this truth: some crowns aren't worth wearing. Some beauty costs more than money. Some debts demand payment in the currency of your own reflection. This story isn't finished just because the ghosts are gone. It lives in every mirror Chimoni will ever face, every photograph that surfaces from the gala, every time someone who once envied her crown now sees her shame. That's the real curse. Not death, memory. 3 months later, Chimoni works at a call center in Ikeja. She wears head wraps that women compliment in passing, not knowing why she never takes them off. Her Instagram is deleted. Her shop is a phone repair store now. Kemi's soft life survived but never speaks of that night. Her hair grew back white and she keeps it hidden under wigs made of synthetic fiber. Blessing sends money every month, guilt payments from a job at a real salon, with real hair, bought from living donors who signed contracts. And sometimes, late at night when Lagos finally quiets, Chimoni stands in front of her bathroom mirror and unwraps her head. Her hair is growing back, slowly, painfully, in patches that may never feel completely. She touches her scalp, remembers the weight of platinum and silver and black silk that never belonged to her. And she hears them still, the dead women, whispering from the other side of her reflection. Remember your crown. Remember what it cost. Remember us. She always will.